If you're doing everything in your power to lose body fat and see the scale weight go down at the moment, but it seems like nothing is budging no matter what you do, I'm here to tell you that it's not your metabolism, it's not your age, but in fact, it is your habits. And in this video, what I'm going to be doing is taking you through the 5 successful habits that lean people have to be able to help them keep up that level of body fat percentage and the muscle tone that you are looking for. If you're wondering how I know this stuff, it's because I've helped hundreds of women over my last decade of training them finally feel confident in their bodies, finally be able to lose body fat for the first time in their lives and keep it off as well. So what we're gonna do is dive into the 5 things that they do on a reoccurring basis every single day, just so you can replicate what they do so you can get the same results. So the first habit that successful dieters have to try and maintain that leanness and that toned look that you're looking for is eating enough protein every single day. Now, despite what you may think, I can guarantee that you are not eating enough protein every day. How do I know? Because I've reviewed hundreds of women's diets who have told me that they're eating enough, and it's simply nowhere near enough. It's usually around half the amount. So this is something that we need to fix. Now, firstly, we need to understand why is protein actually important, because I'm sure that you've seen online everywhere, eat more protein, but unless you really know the reason behind it, you're probably not going to commit to it. So firstly, protein is the only nutrient that we consume that can go towards building muscle tissue. No other nutrient can do this. So therefore, if you're lacking getting enough protein into your diet, you're not going to be able to achieve that toned and lean look, because you're not being able to basically create that muscle tissue without getting enough nutrients supplied to it. So that's the first reason. The second reason is it is the most satiating nutrient that you can eat, meaning it keeps you fuller for longer. So if you're someone that's lacking protein in your diet, you're going to be experiencing a lot of hunger, a lot of cravings, and constantly thinking about food and not having that fullness sensation in your stomach, which is going to be a big issue if you're trying to diet. There are many people that can lose body fat and lose weight for a short period of time, but once that hunger kicks in, they can no longer stick to it and they end up regaining and rebounding from that weight loss and gaining more than they lost originally. And one of those reasons is because, again, they're not eating enough protein. So if you can take care of that and fix that, this is going to massively help you not only achieve these results, but maintain those results at the same time too, which is the ultimate goal here, right? So for you to be able to work out how much protein you really need, what you want to do is take your body weight in pounds. If you don't know what your weight is in pounds, then take it in kilos and times it by 2.2. This is going to tell you how much you weigh in pounds. Next, what you want to do is aim between 0.8 to 1.2 grams per pound of body weight. So all you're going to do for that is take your weight in pounds, times it by either 0.8, times it by 1, which is the same number, so you don't actually need to times it, or times it by 1.2. And what this is going to do is give you your protein target that you want to be aiming for. Eventually, you want to build up to getting that 1.2, but if you feel a million miles away from that right now, then 0.8 is going to be a perfect place for you to start. Now, one quick thing that I will note before I move on to the next successful habit is just be aware how good marketing is these days. A lot of marketing companies have caught on to the fact that if you advertise food as being high in protein, more people will buy it and pay a premium price for it. However, when you look at it in finer detail, a lot of this stuff doesn't have that much protein in. It's just a gimmick to get you to buy more. So when you're looking into buying more protein, first thing, just really focus on whole foods. Look for single ingredient foods. So we're talking about meat, fish are going to be the ones that help a lot. Whey protein is going to be good. And then we want to be looking into other things as well, especially if you're vegan or vegetarian. It's going to be a little bit more difficult because the whole foods and protein that you can get is limited. But just start looking into the food labels more and make sure there's more protein in it than anything else. Okay, moving on to the second successful habit that they do is they get at least 7,000 steps per day. Now, this makes them successful in losing body fat because they're moving more than most people are. Now, the problem is with you, and what you're probably facing at the moment is you're quite inactive throughout the day. You're probably sat down a lot like I am here right now, lazy ass, and then you're also not moving much around the rest of the day when you could be choosing to move more. you decide to sit down, you decide to take the elevator instead of taking the stairs. All these things accumulate over the days, over the weeks, and lead to you burning less calories. Whereas the successful people, they're not doing that. They're consciously thinking about, how can I get more movements? Okay, today I'm gonna park further away from the shop. I'm not going to take the elevator today. I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna take the stairs. Instead of taking that phone call sat down, I'm gonna be stood up. These are the things they're constantly thinking about, and therefore they're burning way more calories. So if you want to be making sure that you're the person that's burning more calories, making it easier to diet, because if you're someone that doesn't burn many calories per day, your calorie consumption has to go massively down, which again, we're stepping on the toes of hunger constantly throughout the day. So we want to be looking and searching for these opportunities and moving more. Even in this video now, my hands, you can see they're all over the place. I'm like a dramatic person because they're just moving everywhere. But this burns calories. Like, this keeps my movement up throughout the day. And it's because of this, I burn more calories than most, because I cannot sit still for the life of me and I'm constantly fidgeting. Although you may not want to look like me when you're talking and waving all over the place, you can take something from it because it is going to be massively beneficial. So what you want to be doing is making sure that you're at least hitting 7,000 steps on average every single day. And I emphasize the word on average because one day you might get 5,000 steps. But if on the weekends you go out for a massive walk and you're getting like 12, 15,000 steps, then it cancels out those lower days and helps to bring your average up across the week. So what you want to make sure that you're doing is being more conscious of this movement, trying to stand wherever and whenever you can, trying to walk more where and when you can. And I promise you, if you do this like the successful people do, you'll also be burning more calories, which is going to help you get leaner a lot easier. The third habit is something that most people struggle with and they don't take seriously enough. Again, the successful people, they know how important this is. They know how much they need to prioritize it and protect it because it's going to come with so many benefits. And that is making sure that you're getting 7 to 9 hours sleep every single night. This is something that the successful people who lose body fat and stay lean and toned always focus on, because there are so many benefits to getting enough sleep in. Firstly, if you get enough sleep in, your hunger is going to be a lot more controlled. If your body is tired, it's going to send a signal to your brain that we need energy, so therefore we need to be searching for food, particularly carbohydrates and sugar, because it's a quick release of energy that our body can use. If you're getting enough sleep in, your body can control your hunger so much more, and it's going to help limit you feeling hunger and feeling those cravings. Another thing is, if you're not getting enough sleep in, you are not going to be building muscle tissue very effectively. You see, when you're at the gym, you're not technically building muscle, you're causing damage and micro tears to them because you're placing stress on those muscles. It's not until you go into recovery mode that your body goes in and starts building those muscles. Now, if you're getting less than 7 hours of sleep every single night, your body's not going to be doing that well for building that muscle tissue. So again, we're not going to be able to get that lean and toned look, right? We already know if we're getting less than 7 hours, your body's not recovering, so you can't be building muscle effectively. You're going to be more hungry, particularly for carbs and sugar, which isn't protein. And then this is going to push you into the place of like not losing body fat, not building muscle, and therefore not achieving that lean look. Now, what I will emphasize here is carbs and sugar isn't bad. That's not what I'm saying. You don't have to remove it from your diet, but someone who does have that protein in their diet is just simply more favorable is all. But back to the topic of sleep anyway. Not only that, but sleep is going to be something that helps with the production of your hormones. If you've got shit sleep, your production of hormones isn't going to be that great, which again is going to have negative effects on your hunger, your fullness, but also the muscle building capabilities that your body has. So you can see that how simply just having that less sleep is going to massively impact your journey. Not only that, but again, it impacts your judgment. As you know, when you're awake the next day after like a really bad night's sleep, your decision making goes down, your willpower goes down, all this stuff just goes out the window because you're so fatigued. Your ability to train hard in the gym has gone because you're so tired and so knackered, right? So again, we can see that why getting enough sleep every single night in is going to be important. Now, what the successful people do in order to keep on top of their sleep routine is firstly, they focus on their sleep hygiene. Sleep hygiene is basically being able to focus on going to bed the same time every night and waking up the same time every single day. The reason this is important is this puts your body into a routine of when to initiate your sleep hormone melatonin. If your sleep routine is all over the place, what tends to happen is your body kind of doesn't know when to release this hormone effectively, so you never actually get into a good night's sleep. So that's the first thing that you want to do, is establish a sleep routine. I'm not going to go into all the other things because I'll create a separate video on that and you can watch that one then. But for now, just make sure that you have a good sleep routine to help you. The fourth successful habit they have is something that I know you're definitely not doing, and something that you really want to start emulating and applying to your journey as well. And that is that they don't see foods as good or bad foods. They don't see things as having a cheat meal. And they don't have the mentality or the mindset of on-off plan. And that's where you're going wrong at the moment. You have this mentality that if you have a quote unquote bad meal, that you've derailed all your progress, you may as well like start again on Monday. And this leads to a bad on-off plan mentality, which ultimately you're in that vicious cycle of starting well, ending shit, restarting, and so on and so on. Which is something that, as you know, isn't working for your results. Otherwise you would be lean at this point. So what you want to do is actually start thinking about food differently. You want to start thinking about it like these successful people do with their diets. They know that they can't cheat on their diet. It's a diet, you cannot cheat on it, right? Like, it's not a person, it's not a relationship or anything like that. So get that mindset out of your head right away. They also know that even if they were to go over their calories for a meal or a day, that doesn't mean that they're instantly going to gain body fat. They know that those calories are probably going to somewhat go to digesting the food, because we burn calories when we digest food. They know that some of those calories are going to go towards muscle building. They know that some of those calories are going to go to other things as well. It's not instantly going to start piling on as body fat. The body doesn't work just like that. And because they know this, they don't beat themselves up for it. They don't have this bad relationship with food where they're constantly in that cycle of like, okay, I'm being good today. Oh, I've ruined it. I best start again tomorrow. Actually, nah, sod it. I'll start again on Monday. They don't have that. They just know that, okay, I've had some few extra calories today. Maybe I'll pull it back tomorrow, but we'll just make sure that we get back into routine and everything's going to be all right. And that's exactly what you need to do and start understanding. You need to stop demonizing food and seeing it as good or bad. And you need to start focusing on long-term habits and consistency over like doing any damage in one day or anything like that. Once you start adopting this mindset and start thinking about things in this manner, I promise you, you will never struggle with that on-off diet mentality anymore. And you'll just constantly be thinking of like, okay, let's continue moving things, like let's get back into my habit and everything's simply going to be all right. And what these successful dieters also do is that they think about including foods that they enjoy in their diet. They don't ban anything from it. So they never feel like they need a cheat meal, or they never feel like they're on or off plan, because they already enjoy the foods that they actually like in their diet, rather than trying to ban it for months and months on end. And this is what you need to do as well. You need to make sure that 90% of your calories are coming from good quality, single ingredient whole foods. But you also need to make sure that you're fitting in some other foods in there that you generally enjoy, that you crave, that you look forward to. Because if you fit this into your calories and can lose weight, it's going to make your journey so much easier. And the fifth and final habit that they do successfully to achieve the lean and toned physique that you want is that they prioritize weights over cardio and classes. You see, weights is the only way that we can build muscle. Cardio and classes aren't going to do it. I don't care if you're doing a weights-based class like body pump or anything like that. It's not going to build you any muscle despite how much you think it is. And that's because it's not high enough intensity for your muscles or heavy enough weight. You see, when we're training with weights, we need to make sure that week on week, we're collecting data and recording the weights that we're lifting to be able to lift more weight or perform more repetitions. In classes, this doesn't happen. You get given a set time, or the instructor is like, follow me, and you're doing the same amount of things that they're doing every single week. There's no progress. Yes, you're lifting weights, but you're not lifting weights correctly. Whereas these successful people, they're going to the gym, they're lifting heavy, and they're taking 90 seconds to 3-minute rests between every single set of exercises, which again, I know you're not doing. Even if you are going to the gym, I guarantee you're resting for like 30 or 60 seconds, which instantly tells me that you're not training hard enough. You see, when you're training with weights and heavy weights and doing it properly, your body is going to need that rest. If you're feeling like you can go again pretty soon, it's just not high enough intensity, and you're not telling your body that you need to build and grow more muscle tissue. So what we want to do is focus on getting it right. Go into the gym and start training hard, recording every single session, and make sure that when you put those weights down, when you finish that set, you are resting and needing a rest for, again, 90 seconds up to 3 minutes per exercise. Once you start doing this, I promise you, this is going to be the thing that helps take your results to that next level. Like I said, you can be going to the gym and lifting weights. You can be lifting weights in classes. But unless it's done to this intensity and in this way, you're not going to be building more muscle tissue and therefore creating that leaner physique that you're looking for. And as you can see, these 5 habits that we've discussed in these videos aren't anything magical. They're not anything like bananas crazy or anything like that. They're stuff that you can simply do and start doing day to day without too much effort that's involved. You just have to be consistent with it. You have to build up a lifestyle, build up a routine that allows you to do these things consistently, and you will be one of those successful people too. You will be one of those people that I'm talking about in this video that has achieved that leaned and toned physique that's going to help you feel more confident day to day. If you've enjoyed this video and you want to learn more from me, then YouTube does a pretty good job at recommending a video for you to watch that's going to help you out more. So click on that one and I'll see you in the next video.